every clock on Earth just stopped. Temporal and antimatter energy radiates from the strange new planet entering New 52 space. Superman orders everybody to pull back, but the being known as the Oracle refuses. The entity sees all of the past, present, and future. So why is he now blind? Clark asks the cosmic being what is going on and how they can save everyone, but the Oracle only says that nobody can be saved. On the world of Telos, war rages between heroes of many different continuities. The battle is chaotic until Telos suddenly erupts from the ground. Deimos sees this, and the two engage in fierce fight over control over this planet. The power between these two forces is so great it can be observed from space, and most of the heroes cannot get close enough to the fight. A version of Hal Jordan tries to stop Deimos, but he is easily pushed back. In the end, Telos is able to overpower the sorcerer and imprison all the villains who sided with him. Deimos is captured, and Telos demands to know his own true name. But the sorcerer is still powerful enough to attempt an escape. In response, Hal Jordan declares that Deimos is boring him, and the Green Lantern murders the villain. Telos is upset at this development, and explains that the sorcerer had absorbed the powers of a group of time travelers. He had absolute control of past, present, and future. But now, the sky becomes saturated in a red lightning that erupts from the planet. The Oracle finally sees it now. The future is unknown. The entity can finally rest. He begins to break apart into pieces, and declares that all of reality is about to collapse. Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden, and this is my recap and review of Convergence number 7. So the last couple of reviews we have done for this series has been a little, negative. But it's not like we're trying to pick on Convergence. I feel a little bad even about how harsh I was with my last review for Convergence number 5. And it's important to remember that I just kind of came up with a funny idea with a review and rolled with it. But at the end of the day, both Joey and I just don't think this series is very good. Therefore, I was actually quite pleased to find that number 7 actually has turned around the series a little bit. The art is much better in this comic, and it feels a lot more polished on the whole. The story is a lot more engaging, and the storytelling itself has vastly improved. Things are finally happening that will likely have an impact on the future of DC Comics. So I actually enjoyed reading this. At least the first time around. The problem is that by the time I started writing this review, the flaws became all too obvious. The action is a cluttered mess in this comic, and they all fail to convey any sense of stakes. Marvel does this all the time too, where they just cram a bunch of characters into fighting poses on these big splash pages, and it leaves an impression of nothing of consequence happening here. And yeah, it's nice that stuff is finally coming to a point in the story where I might even be inclined to call it interesting, but it took so long to get here that I'm just too burnt out on this story to care anymore. So yes, you will likely enjoy Convergence number 7 if you have been liking the series so far, and you might even find it to be a bit of an improvement like I did. And you wouldn't be wrong on either count. It's fine to like this series, and I get that not everybody looks at these comics the same way I do or with as much scrutiny. But in my eyes, this series is far from good, and considering how you have to wade through at least 3 or 4 pointless issues of Earth 2 heroes fighting drones and Deimos, I just can't in good conscience say this comic is anything but another cash grab for DC. If the rest of this series were more like number 7, then I'd probably give this comic a recommendation. It is on the whole a pretty good comic, but I can't cheer this issue on knowing all the bad that has come before it. So, whatever. I think that this is Parallax Hal Jordan, and that's kinda cool if it's true, but I can't even be bothered to check anymore, nor do I really care. I don't necessarily share this nostalgia for older DC heroes that others might have. And as Jordan so expertly put it in this comic, you bore me. You're boring, Convergence. I'm bored. And the only other feeling I'm left with after reading this comic is relief. I am done with this series. Yay! It's all over for me, and that little fact makes me so much happier than anything that came out of this event. Joey will review number 8, and we can both put this hot mess behind us. The ending might even be kind of good. It will likely have lasting consequences on the DC universe, and it does look like it's gearing up to be big and epic. The company can move in a new direction away from New 52, though let's be real here, it's just going to be the same old direction with a new label on it. Nothing is changing behind the scenes radically here, so life's just going to go on with DC Comics. And that will be it for Convergence. Yeah, we're going to probably do a few of the tie-ins, they're just taking a little longer than expected, but those are much better and I'm actually looking forward to those reviews. But it's not like some fun tie-ins can salvage this mess of a core series, and these main stories are generally what matters most when it comes to big events like this. So I'm sorry to be pumping out yet another negative review. I wanted to end my Convergence coverage on a more pleasant note, but I think it's more important that I be honest about how I feel. It makes it more meaningful when I'm actually pleased with something like Batman Endgame, because you guys know I'm not just saying it's good to please our audience. Let me know what you think of Convergence number 7 in the comments section below. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep reading comics.